How's it going, everybody? This is Cameron White with White Light Astrology, talking all about Jupiter's ingress into Sagittarius for 2018, the rest of 2018, and 2019. So in this video, we're going to be talking about, Jupiter's ingress, when it goes in, when it retrogrades. We're going to be talking about, Jupiter itself, what Sagittarius is all about, what a planet's like in its domicile, what it means, and really, how to use this to your advantage, and really how to get all you really can out of Jupiter and Sagittarius, because it's going to be awesome. So to start off, Jupiter enters Sagittarius on Thursday, November 8th at 5:39 a.m. That's gonna be Mountain Standard Time for me. I don't know what time it's gonna be for you guys anywhere else. So do the math, I guess. But it's also going to retrograde on April 11th at 24 degrees Sagittarius, and then it will go direct on August 12th at 14 degrees Sagittarius in 2019. So remember that. It does go into Sagittarius at the beginning or the end of 2018, but it will stay there for the majority of 2019. By December 3rd, he will be entering Capricorn. So we have a little bit over a year of Jupiter in Sagittarius. So let's pretty much get into it, I guess. So Jupiter going into Sagittarius is a pretty big deal because Jupiter, if you know a little bit about it, you know that he's like associated with like things like good luck and fortune. But Jupiter is a expansive planet. Anything that he touches, it expands. It's not a Uranus thing where it's all about, explosions and stuff. Jupiter just brings things into abundance. It gives a lot to something. Jupiter is blowing up everything. Jupiter wants to expand as much as he can. He's very abundant in nature. Jupiter has a meaning. Jupiter has a reason for all of this. Jupiter is very philosophical. Jupiter wants to understand. Jupiter wants to believe. He wants to adventure and explore and experience. Jupiter is very much about understanding these things, having a reason for them, applying a philosophy towards life, towards everything, and it's more towards a positive end, where Saturn is more of a realistic, a very cold, dark, dim reality. Jupiter is more of like, how can we make this work? How can we make this, how can we make this worth it? How can we make this a good experience? What do I believe about this experience, and what can I learn from this experience? Jupiter is also, all about education, higher education. He's all about teaching. He's all about other cultures. He's all about really just learning. And so that's a pretty big deal in itself that we have a really good planet doing something pretty good. And what is that good thing? He's going into Sagittarius, his home sign, where Jupiter has, it's kind of like when you have a historian in like a library or like with a new fossil. It's like a fuel of, excitement to learn and to discover and to have, meaning and reason. It's like that, part of the movie where, after the climax and there's like, that twist where it's like, oh no, the hero's done or whatever. And all of a sudden they get one little thing that's handed to them and it like sparks all this inspiration up. That's Jupiter in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign, and it is of mutable modality. So we're already talking about fire signs. We're talking about Aries, Leo, Sag. We're talking about getting things started, sustaining things. And with Sagittarius, we are talking about fueling fire. When we're talking about a mutable sign, we're talking about logic. We're talking about understanding. We're talking about change. And so when you have Sagittarius, this is spreading the fire in other places. While Aries is starting that fire, Leo sustains that fire and that warmth. Sagittarius expands it. It makes it even more so. This is a mutable sign too that we're talking about. Mutable signs have a lot to do more with change. They have a lot more to do with logic, understanding, reasoning. And so when you have these two blended up together in Sagittarius, Jupiter's going to come in there and it's going to expand on all this stuff. And it's very, very exciting stuff. So Jupiter rules two signs, Pisces and Sagittarius. Now, there's really no what planet or what sign a planet rules better, but I am here to say I totally think Jupiter has way more fun in Sagittarius, only because Sagittarius is the bow and arrow. It's about pointing at something, shooting it, and moving forward, and wanting to discover, wanting to keep moving forward, and adventuring and experiencing. And when you have Jupiter, this planet of philosophy, this planet of education, this planet of kings, and this planet of, giving, and this planet of abundance being in this area, it's going to have us expand really a lot of our mindset and our beliefs and our attitudes towards things. So to talk about planet being in its domicile, I think that's really important to hit on this because we have Saturn in his domicile right now. Saturn is in Capricorn, so Saturn's influence is very, very heavy right now. He's in his home, he's strong, he's resilient, he's doing Saturn and Capricorn things exactly the way that he wants to. we're going to have Jupiter in its domicile. And I think having these two very important planets that are also coming up to a conjunction very soon, but having these two important planets, these two very serious and big planets in their home signs where they get to work with their territory, their own, within the comforts of their home, their own home. It's like they're working from home. They don't have to go out of their way. They don't have to get uncomfortable. So you have these two really, big deal planets in their, like, basically at 100%. And so I think this is a big deal because we've had Saturn in Capricorn for about a year now. And Saturn's, very serious, very cold, very harsh. He's in, Capricorn where it's real as hell. We have Jupiter, this planet of expansion and good luck and fortune. And, I don't like using the word good luck and fortune, but it's kind of like a way to, I guess, sprinkle the idea of Jupiter's magic into it, into, like, I guess, a vocabulary. But Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to be very important because as Saturn is in Capricorn where we're wanting to get things done, Jupiter in Sagittarius is giving us a reason to go for it, a reason to expand, a reason to believe, a reason to go for all this stuff. It's going to be very, very exciting. So yeah, Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a really good planet and a really good sign and a really good position. He's not aspecting Jupiter. I actually wrote down all of his aspects right here. He's got 2 conjunctions to Venus this year in Sagittarius. Like, that's super exciting. We have one at the end of this year, or at the beginning of next year, and we have one a little bit later. It's going to be trining Uranus within 8 degrees. That's going to be a little bit later on in February into March. And it's not going to be the most closest thing ever, but when Uranus goes back into Aries and Jupiter is in Sag, and you just have that, element trine right there, or they just trine by sign, I should say. When Jupiter gets closer and closer to Uranus, it's going to feel very exciting as well. It is making a square to Neptune, which I do think is going to be a big deal as well, only because with Neptune and Pisces, where everything's really saturated and everything can be very unclear, I think Jupiter in Sagittarius, although it will occur, like it will have a lot of tension, not necessarily so much tension, but a logical issue, with processing issue of kind of battling through it mentally. I feel like Jupiter in Sagittarius is really going to kind of overcome this whole Pisces and Neptune thing and give us kind of a clear, distinctive path, rather with Neptune and Pisces being very unclear, very wishy-washy, very illusionary, with Jupiter and Sag giving, purpose, clarity, meaning, reason. With that square to Neptune, I do believe Jupiter is going to have a way more clearer picture for Neptune to kind of work with, so it's not so distracting, it's not so confusing. So yeah, besides that, in his opposition to Mars, and of course the full moon in Sagittarius on June 17th, that's going to be conjunct Jupiter, not making too many bad aspects. He's not in a hard aspect to anything else but Neptune, and honestly, I'm here to say it, Jupiter's going to totally overcome this Neptune thing. Neptune's not going to have so much to say in this. So with that being said, let's start talking about, what does it mean? What can we do with it? What is this all? Why are we all here? So Jupiter in Sag wants us to learn something. Jupiter wants us to, I shouldn't say Jupiter so much, but Sagittarius' purpose is to discover. It is to grow. It is to learn. It is to move forward. It is to be excited. It is to be curious. And Jupiter being here, where Jupiter can find a reason to, can find a meaning, can find fun, where Jupiter can find, a lot of philosophy, a lot of understanding. I really do think Jupiter in Sagittarius is here to really teach us something. What that is, that's up for you to decide. What Jupiter in Sagittarius, or maybe, where it's at in your house, or what aspects it's making, you know what I mean? But Jupiter is expanding on this sign of adventure, of learning, of growing, different cultures, learning different languages, foreign things, like doing something different, going somewhere that's, that no one's ever been before. It's charting new territory. And with Jupiter right here, where we are, expanding on this, but in a really positive way, this is kind of opening the doors for us to learn something new, to get out of our comfort zones and to be excited about it, give us a reason to, and help us build a philosophy, help us build a story. Jupiter is the story, while Mercury is more of the message. Jupiter is the story. Jupiter is the experience of it all. So with Jupiter's transit in Sag, I really think that this is going to be, calling out for people to learn something new, to find a positive side of things, to start to grow and discover a new, you know, if you guys are Star Wars fans, like a new hope type deal. And looking at the chart that right when Jupiter enters Sagittarius, it is going to be a Scorpio ruled chart with the moon in Scorpio too, but it is going to be, Jupiter's just going to be touching Mercury and just leaving a conjunction with Mercury. And I think that is going to be a big deal. I think this is going to be a very raw and real Jupiter in Sagittarius, where this philosophy and this passion and this meaning and this road that we're traveling is going to be very purposeful. It's going to be very close to home. It's going to be held on very tightly. And with Mercury right there, I think this is going to be a lot more in our day-to-day heads than, you know, where Jupiter usually is. With Jupiter and Scorpio, like with Jupiter being in Scorpio as it's been very underneath and very underlying. I really think this Jupiter in Scorpio, Jupiter in Sagittarius is going to be very present. It's going to be very, you know, it's constantly going to be going through our heads and through our lives a little bit more than usual, in my opinion. So yeah, that's going to be that. Let's talk about what can we do with it? What can we do with Jupiter and Sag? There's a lot of stuff that you can do with Jupiter and Sagittarius, whether you're into astrological magic or you're into electional astrology. I know Jupiter and Sag is going to be great for that. However, I guess my challenge for you for Jupiter and Sagittarius would to take a leap of faith. Jupiter being about belief, Jupiter being about, you know, better outcomes, abundance, greatness. Take a leap of faith with this. This is Sagittarius that we're talking about. We're talking about, you know, learning something new, discovering. We're getting out of Scorpio, where Scorpio is purging down to the bottom. It's the reference I always like to make with Scorpio and Sagittarius is, imagine this pen is a rubber band, and at the bottom of this rubber band is, you know, all the dark stuff you could think of, like, you know, depression, anxiety, like anything bad you can think of, and everything above this rubber band is, you know, positivity, love, happiness, success, whatever you want to throw up there. Scorpio is us pulling the rubber band all the way down to the bottom until we're willing to let go. And once we let go, we shoot up here, and this is where we get Sagittarius. This is when we discover. This is when we learn. This is when, after you surrender to the process of Scorpio, you begin to experience something, and that something is new, that something is positive, that something, I don't want to say fulfills you, however, that something, that newness, creates a focus. It creates a, like I've been saying, it creates a meaning. It creates a reason to keep continuing on. So with what you could do with Jupiter and Sagittarius, take a leap of faith, learn something new, and not necessarily get out of your comfort zone in something maybe you've never done before, but do something that not necessarily is different, but that requires you to learn. Do something that makes you feel alive. Do something that is going to take you to that next level of hope, of faith, of bringing you one step closer to, you know, your God or yourself or whatever you believe. This is going to be a really big time of seeing the glass half full and seeing the positive in the world and the positive that's going on in your life, as long as you so are willing to believe in it and are willing to take the road to discover it, because it's out there for you to discover. It's just your job, and it's the opportunity right now to take advantage of that and take this opportunity to really learn something new, to really grow from this and find and experience something better, something positive. And especially wherever Sagittarius is at in your chart, whether it's in the 2nd house or the 5th house or the 9th house or the 10th house, wherever Jupiter is going to be at in Sagittarius, maybe this is a new area in your life that you could take a step forward and you could start to believe in something better. You could start to really move ahead on something. And I think that's going to be your best bet with Jupiter and Sag, is really taking a leap of faith, trusting the process, having fun with it. And I think that's what I got for you guys. I know this is definitely going to have such a way better taste than Jupiter and Scorpio. This is really going to mitigate Saturn and Capricorn. This is going to be, I don't want to say it's like, oh my God, it's going to be the best year ever, but man, it's going to be a nice little tone for a year as far as Jupiter being in Scorpio. I mean, Jupiter being in Sagittarius. I don't know why I keep saying Scorpio. But with that, guys, I'm going to leave you off with that. So thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing my channel. I love talking to you guys. Let me know what you think. Tell me what you're excited about for this next year and what you plan on doing with Jupiter and Sagittarius. Tell me where it's at in your chart. Maybe your ascendant rulers, you know, Jupiter, or, you know, your Time Lord's Jupiter or something like that. Share it. I love to hear it. I love hearing your guys' stories. So, yeah, with that being said, I will be sending off, and I think that's all I got to say. So, yeah, thank you guys. Take care.